My name is Ейтан Кац, and I'm a co-founder and general manager of a venture capital firm called Neo.vc. Neo.vc is a new venture capital that has made its goal to invest in the Ukrainian startup ecosystem. Its vision is to help develop new and emerging startup ecosystems around the world. The model is to create global innovation hubs that will all be self-sustained, in which we will invest in the specific hubs, such as Ukraine, and also to create a network effect between the hubs and synergies between the startups on a global level. The reason we decided to start our journey, our investments in Ukraine, is because we think that there is, on one hand, huge potential in Ukraine for a startup ecosystem. If you look at the resources, the human resources that exist here, the level of education, the legacy of education in science and mathematics and statistics. So all this creates a very unique and also large-scale asset that we thought that would be a very good basis to start and developing or helping the ecosystem to further develop. On the other hand, if we look at the current state of this ecosystem, it's definitely right in the beginning. I'm from Israel, and Israel has done a big leap from the early 90s when the entrepreneurial ecosystem started until today. So today Israel is known as a startup nation. It's number 2 to the US in the number of companies that are listed in NASDAQ. And per capita, we're such a small nation, 8 million people. Per capita, I think we have the largest density of startup in the entire world. So the reason that this all happened was because of the human factor. And when I look at Ukraine, which is of course in a much bigger scale, the human factor will play an important role in transforming the local economy and becoming a big power in not only in the current IT industry, which is focused on outsource, but rather on creating businesses and exporting products around the world. So this is the opportunity that we see. This is why we decided to make our number 1 hub here in the Ukraine. And together with the local human factor, with the Israeli DNA of entrepreneurship and our knowledge and expertise, we think that we can be very successful here. So Neo.vc has the major focus here in Ukraine will be around artificial intelligence. I personally am very much interested in this area. This is an area of passion of mine, and whatever I do, I always like to do things in which I understand and I love. Specifically, machine intelligence is something that fascinates me for quite some time. My roots, my background, I'm a technology guy. I was a software developer for many years. I got trained in the Israeli army as a developer. And I was educated on computer science in the late 80s and early 90s. And back then, the way we studied computer science was that a program needs to tell a machine what to do. Everything, whatever you don't tell the machine will not know. That's the deterministic kind of programming. And when I realized, I understood it a long time ago, but with all the advances, the recent advances of computer power and cloud computing, the whole notion of probabilistic kind of programming became very, very powerful. And when I realized that now you do not have to tell the machine what to do, because you have all the computing power that allows you to do build models that will teach the machine, and the machine itself will know what to do. That kind of was mind-blowing in terms of what is the potential. So I started studying, learning, self-learning a bit more about machine learning, and I'm fascinated by the potential of this whole domain. And I also see a connection to Ukraine because in order to be good at machine learning, basically you need a lot of knowledge in computer science, but also a good understanding in mathematics and statistics to build the models. And these are things, computer science, mathematics, statistics, these are things, this is an expertise that exists here in Ukraine, and therefore we believe that as time goes by, we will see more and more companies that have meaningful technologies in this space. So our focus here is on companies that either implement specific machine learning models for their products that become smarter, or provide some capabilities that other companies could implement to add machine learning to their current line of product. So we think that both areas will provide a lot of opportunity for us as an investment firm here in the Ukraine, and we can help also as a bridge to Israel and Silicon Valley. We can help expose these technologies to other markets. So when we look at long-term impact of machine learning, we can either be very, very optimistic or very pessimistic. And recently, I saw some exchanges of ideas between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg represents the optimistic viewpoint, and Elon Musk represents the more cautious and concerned viewpoint. I don't want to take any sides because nobody can really know, but I think they're both right. On one hand, the potential of machine learning or artificial intelligence is so big that we cannot even imagine it. It has already impact on every area in our lives. It's not a domain that is kept only for people who are technological people or computer scientists. It should actually, everyone should care about it. So if you look at our world and the way it will be in 20 years from now, even this thought by itself is a thought that should interest everybody. Think, for instance, of our kids. In what kind of world will they live? And we are preparing our kids today to a future world that probably will not exist. So the whole education system that we have today is an education system that assumes the things that we know today. It doesn't even try to predict what are the skills and expertise that people will need in 20 years. So when we teach our kids, we give them knowledge, whereas knowledge in 20 years will be different. The needed knowledge will be different. We see transition in the way the job market acts. 20 years ago, we had jobs like a fax machine operator. We see jobs that were already eliminated. And of course, 20 years from now, many of the jobs that we know today will be also eliminated. And it's not only about blue-collar jobs, Blue-collar jobs, obviously, are being replaced by machinery. But the real revolution is going to happen also in the white-collar jobs. Lawyers, even computer programmers. These jobs will dramatically change, if not get eliminated, with AI. A lawyer, the majority of the time, a lawyer goes through contracts or write contracts and uses templates and do searches. And all of these things are today becoming more and more obsolete because we are training machines to do many of these tasks. So we're far from a point where a machine will stand in front of a judge and defend a defendant. But the rest of the things, the back end, the back office work, a lot of it will get eliminated. Think of other roles, white-collar roles like programming. Today, we as humans, we program the machines, but there are already experiments taking place today of computer programs that are being built by machines. So that is really the holy grail of artificial intelligence, because the moment machines will build machines, humans will potentially be left with a different set of jobs. So I think that in a weird way, the technological jobs are eliminating themselves, and the jobs that are, let's call it soft artistic jobs, like painters and screenwriters and poets and authors, these jobs will be, I think, more significant in a way because it's much more difficult to replace them by machines. Now, there are already attempts today, and you can look in YouTube, movies that the screenplay was written by a machine. It's weird. It's when you see it, it's strange. But for instance, there's a movie, I think it's from 2016, where the machine was fed with all the work of Shakespeare. And they built this algorithm to create a screenplay out of this. So the screenplay, when you look at the movie, the screenplay is really impacted by Shakespeare. You can even recognize sentences. But still, the capability of creating a narrative by a machine is really mind-blowing. So I don't think that we are going to see the majority of our movies that were written by machines. This will take a long time if it will happen at all. But definitely our daily job will be impacted, and many jobs that are now the hottest jobs, like being a programmer, in a few decades will be largely replaced by machines. So that brings another question to mind. What will people be living from? Because if I'm a programmer and I'm being replaced by a machine, how can I live? How can I survive in such a world? A few months ago, I was driving with a taxi driver in Israel, and he was a driver by an Uber-like service, a different service. And I started talking to him about his experience as a driver in this kind of app-based service. And he said that for him it was life-saving because before that he was a worker in a warehouse, a big warehouse. And all the employees of this warehouse were replaced by robots. So now it's a fully automatic warehouse. And in a way, I told him that I feel sorry for him about the warehouse thing, and I thought to myself that in 20 years, he will again be left without a job because his job as a driver will also be eliminated. So this guy and a cashier in the supermarket and many other jobs will very soon be eliminated. So we, as a society, we need to solve this problem. On one hand, we cannot stop the technology because we all have interest in a more productive, faster world. Nobody likes to stand in line for the cashier in the supermarket. We want a seamless checkout process, just grab the things and go away. But still, these people will need to live on something. And that brings the old ideas of the universal income and the questions of, as a society, the responsibility to take care of the people that will lose their jobs. So there are these notions of universal income that will at least ensure some kind of a basic level of income to support people who lost their jobs because of technology. And from here, there are additional derivative models like robots paying taxes. So if a robot increases productivity, someone reaps the benefits out of it. So there's this notion of putting taxes on robotics so we can also take care of the people who lost their jobs. Now, this is also an ideologic concept. I don't want to get into the ideology here, but definitely as a society, we need to think about it, and we cannot handle these challenges only when they occur. We need to start thinking about it as early as today.